even give it full throttle. This car scares me. It really does. I'm not just saying that. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take my twin turbo 2019 Mustang out for a ride and try to answer a lot of questions, a lot of comments that you guys have been leaving over the past few videos. What is it like to live with? How does it drive? A big one is the K-member, the BMR K-member. How does that feel on the road as far as NVH? It took a few days for these turbos to break in, and after the last video, if you guys missed it, links up above, click that card. Because we dynoed this thing, and on 93 pump gas, a little bit of octane booster, it made almost 850 horsepower to the ground. All right, guys, so first things first, we're gonna let the car warm up to its pretty much normal operating temperature. Pretty common amongst all vehicles. You want to let the thing warm up before you go out there and start doing crazy hooning. In the beginning, you know, it was kind of a quiet car, but now since the car is broken in, especially after the last dyno, but it's an absolute animal. So the cool thing is, look down here, we got our vacuum. It's a very, very tight engine. I want to walk you through this. A lot of guys saw this Go Fast Bits controller and really liked it, especially compared to, like, I think they make like an eBoost 2 from Turbo Smart, but pretty simple to actually get through everything. Duty cycle, gain, sensitivity, overboost, peak, display. You just keep tapping the settings button, and then of course you got scramble, which we don't have hooked up, and then you have different presets as well. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're gonna go back to 1. So we're gonna make sure that we are still, so we're gonna be on gate pressure today. Overboost, yeah, let's leave it at 85 is fine. Yeah, now that these turbos are broken in, they're pretty loud. Yeah, you can really hear the turbos, guys, all of the time. It's really cool. This car, it does have a 258 stall from Circle D, and it's very interesting. It's kind of overkill for what we got right now, but you can always hear the turbos. You let off the gas, you hear the blow-off valve there a little bit, but constantly hearing noises. It's really cool. So we're gonna take a left. I am on my drag wheels and tires. I still need to put axles in the car, and I did put some BMR differential bushings in there that I think are going to come back out. They're not overly noisy, but I do hear them clunking around a little bit, which is a very common thing. You know, we do want to go race car with this guy, but not completely fully yet. This is still kind of a daily driver. I don't drive it every day, but I want to be able to, you know, cruise with it. If I want to go to Georgia or North Carolina or wherever, another state, I do want to be able to just hop in the car and go. The seat that I'm in is a Corbeau fixed back race seat. It's honestly not that bad. But before we get into any of the turbo stuff, one of the main questions I've been getting over the past few videos is the BMR K-member. It is a drag-specific K-member that shaves almost 50 pounds with the addition of deleting that front sway bar. But it's very interesting. Well, we'll hit some curves up here in a moment, but the nice side effect is that it still handles great. And as far as NVH, you're gonna feel a little bit more vibration, just feeling in the steering wheel, but it's not bad, guys. I am like a stickler on NVH. I hate it with a passion. I hate NVH, but I have no noise coming from the K-member. It's just a little bit of vibration, and I mean slightly, and you'll get used to it, I promise. We're spinning. So that was about 6.9 pounds. That's wastegate pressure right there. But I'm giving it like a quarter throttle. This car is an animal. Honestly, it's an animal. On gate pressure, which you just saw, about 6.9 pounds, the car makes almost 700 rear wheel horsepower. I think it's 6.5 pounds. It was right at around 660, and that was almost 580 pound-feet of torque. The split there is almost 1-to-1. It's insane. This car is crazy, but we got to let the tires heat up before we do anything crazy. It's about 60 degrees outside, and yeah, this car's a beast. You do have to be careful with it. But here's the corner coming up, so this would be a good way to show us how this thing kind of feels, the K-member, and it's fine. It's completely fine. These back roads are somewhat bumpy, so I feel a little bit more in the gas pedal and also in the steering wheel. But honestly, after about 50 miles of driving, when I first put it in, I was completely like used to it. You're gonna feel more. I'm not gonna say that you're not gonna feel anything, that it's gonna feel like, you know, OEM with the, because this uses the polyurethane bushings for motor mounts. So you are going to feel a little bit more, but it's not bad. I would not be afraid to buy this K-member, and it does save a ton of weight. I need to pass this guy very carefully. You can't just give it hell. This is another Mustang. You cannot just give this car hell. You're playing around with too much horsepower and torque. So in a sense, does it ruin drivability for like daily use? Not really, because under, like, let's say under 3,500 RPM, you're not really riding around in boost, and it drives just like it did when it was NA, except that you get awesome turbo noises all of the time. It's great. It's honestly, it's a symphony in here. I love it. Yeah, once you're about 3,000 and up, you need to be very cautious about what you're doing with the gas pedal, and definitely you need sticky tires if you're doing something like this. Yeah, those factory performance pack Michelin Forest tires just don't cut it. So the cool thing too is we have this converter in the car, and it's really neat because it takes a little bit more to get off of the line. So you have to basically give it a little bit more gas to get the car to go. So I'm giving it quite a bit, and then it goes. So, you know, it is a stall. This is like, I think it's a 3,500 RPM stall thereabout. It's the big boy. It's the Circle D 258. Basically, it's a truck converter. So we'll make a left. Yeah, you will really, on the street, you got to roll into the throttle. If you hammer it, you'll be in for the ride of your life. You will be all over the road or off of it. We did that the other day. We were testing wastegate pressure, and I was trying to keep control of the car. But yeah, I got a little bit more of a bouncy ride with the K-member, but it's not overly bad. You know, a lot of people may not like it. I just want to put that out there. A lot of people may not like it. But if you're using your car for some aggressive driving and racing, I don't think that you should shy away from spending the money. And here's the cool thing. It costs like half the money compared to some of the other competition. The other competitors are out there that release these K-members for the S550s. BMR's is like, it's like half the cost, guys. And you can use promo code Xander7 at bmrsuspension.com, and it'll save you a bunch of money and get you free shipping because it comes in a big box. So pretty cool. Let's see, what other questions have I been getting? But right now we still have the Corsa Extreme active mufflers in the back and their double X pipe. And it sounds great. It's very, very deep, guys. Now, when we start going crazy boost, we're probably gonna have to lose them. I don't know yet. We ran into some valve float issues the last dyno. I don't want to ruin the next video, but we are going to go back to another dyno and see if because we think that the load was just a little bit too high in the last dyno. So in other words, this thing doesn't make 826 horsepower. It probably makes more. The load that we had on the dyno was an all-wheel drive dyno. It was not a dyno jet. It was a dyno tech or comp or something crazy, some all-wheel drive dyno. Pretty accurate numbers. I've used them in the past, but we're going to go to a dyno jet this next time and just see if we're still having exhaust restrictions, or you know, if it's fixed itself. And because we couldn't even hit 12 psi, and we should be able to. We got ARP head studs. We also have Kinetic head gaskets. We got copper spray. All of that shit. We should be honestly fine for, you know, lots of boost. We do want to play it safe, and you know, treat this engine with respect. The last one popped. We're trying to salvage this one, make it last as long as possible, but we do want to make power. So really relying on the tuner to get things right. God, believe. Golly, I can't even give it full throttle. I cannot give it full throttle. That was about a quarter throttle. Oh my goodness. This car scares me. It really does. I'm not just saying that. It's a ride. It's a roller coaster for sure. We're gonna go up here and turn around, I think. Let's go up a little further. Right there. All right. Let's go in reverse. I can't even put the power down. This is ridiculous. I'm trying to roll into the throttle, guys, but it's just spinning. I mean, I've got ET Street R's in the back, 25 pounds of air in the tires, and they're just spinning. This is nuts. Yeah, you really need a track to enjoy the power, but it's cool because it's a turbo. So the neat thing is, with this controller especially, you can turn the power up and turn it down. Right now we have it on its lowest setting, which is gate pressure. It is completely unusable on the street. It's a monster. Yeah, I can't. I keep trying to see if I can put the power down, and I'm rolling into throttle, and I'm only about 20% down on the pedal, and it's useless. Absolutely useless. I can't do it. I mean, I guess I could, but we would lose the car. It'd be off in the trees over there. I don't want to do that. So it's really cool though. We have a ton of power that I can't use. That's so awesome though. This car is such an animal. If the weather was better and we had some sunshine and the streets were warm, we could probably put the power down a little bit better. But the big thing is the torque. There's just so much of it, and it comes on so early. Yeah, right about 3,000 RPM, maybe about 35 is where it really starts to shine. It just starts to go. And it's not such a linear power curve like this. I mean, when it comes on, it's like bam. I mean, it hits you like a ton of bricks, and the car just comes to life. Oh. Here's another thing too. We're still using active exhaust, and I do want to put this in a video. So what I want to do is go to quiet mode, show you how well this works. So you hear a lot of turbo noise, but not a lot of exhaust. So the functionality is still there, which is cool. I just want to see. There's nobody around me. I just want to tempt it. Nope. Started to lose a rear end. I wish that you could be in the car with me, or like driving this thing, what it feels like. But yeah, I just felt the tires just doing this. We were gonna lose it if we weren't careful. I really heard the blow up valve that time. It just pew! That's awesome. Rolling into the throttle, you're okay, but if you hammer it, it's over, guys. You got to be careful. Yep. Make sure the GoPro didn't fall off the car. It's still there. Guys, if you like this POV like style filming, let me know, because it kind of really puts you in the cockpit, you know, the driver's seat, so you guys can really see what's going on. I don't know if it's any less boring or not. You know, the camera could be just looking at me. I feel like that would be a little bit more boring. But this way you guys can really see what's going on. I wish you could hear. I guarantee the camera's not picking up on all of the audio from the turbos that I'm hearing. They live underneath the car. It's all you hear is crazy noises. It's amazing. But yes, the turbos live underneath of the car, so it's in a sense a sleeper system. Now, they do sit above the frame, more so in the K-member area, like above. So you could probably drive this in rain just fine. I wouldn't go through any puddles, but you know, you also have some splash shielding and all that still under there, which you can run or not. If you like this POV stuff, please thumbs up the video. It helps me out. If you're new, you made it this far in the video, so consider subscribing. We're gonna be on the racetrack here soon. But yeah, here's another corner. So we can take this, and there's no front sway bar, remember, but I don't feel like I've lost a lot of handling. I mean, the car's still, you know, you can still toss it around like that. I don't feel like I've lost a whole lot, you know, by the deletion of the front sway bar. And most guys that are just doing straight line stuff, you don't need it anyway, so they just get rid of it. You know, it's just extra weight. Oh, God. Oh, all over the road. The Circle D converter definitely shifts a little bit more firm. So if you're used to the 10R80, you know, those buttery, crisp shifts, it gets you, you're going to have a little bit more just spinning. All it's doing is spinning. It's spinning straight. That's the important thing. We're not losing it into the trees. Oh my goodness, this car is a riot. But yeah, the shifts are a little bit more firm with the Circle D, but very, very livable. Very livable. There's like nobody behind me, but I want to illustrate this. If you've, again, hopefully you made it this far in the video. Speaking of the converter, it's almost like, because it takes a little bit more to get offline, yeah, there's still nobody coming. You can basically, it's almost kind of like having a manual car again for just a couple of seconds when you're like, you know, a low RPM. So you could just cruise around in parking lots and just give us some gas. And you hear the turbos spool up, which is kind of neat. This car is an animal. Anyway, I think it's cool because, you know, from time to time I do miss driving a stick shift, and if I can get it to rev just a little bit without the car really moving when I'm going slow, I know that's such a stupid, silly thing, but just to hear the throttle blip a little bit, it's nice. Guys, that's going to wrap up this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I was able to answer a couple of the questions that you guys may have had. Just a simple little POV video, but again, hopefully you've enjoyed it. So stay tuned to the channel for lots of stuff to come, and I'll see all of you guys in the next video. Be safe.